Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the 1995 film Casper. But before we get into that, remind you guys to please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, do all that stuff. All those links will be in the description below. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is the 30th anniversary of the 1995 Casper movie, which is kind of crazy. I remember I used to watch this movie growing up on TV. It was on Disney Channel quite a bit, even though it's not a Disney movie, I don't believe. I don't own the movie, so I went to go look for it. I actually figured it would be on Disney Plus, but it wasn't. But I used to watch this movie all the time. Growing up, it used to be on like Disney Channel, like stuff like Halloween Town and stuff like that. I used to watch it quite a bit. But I haven't seen it in a while, so this is kind of like a refresher for me. And I will say it is very 90s, we'll say that. If you don't know the story of Casper, it's about this woman who inherits a home that's condemned and haunted and that nobody likes. And she's trying to find somebody who will take and, get all the ghosts out so she can sell it and make some money off of it. But she ends up finding Bill Pullman, who is a kind of a ghost whisperer, so to speak, and he's there to try to weed these ghosts out and talk to them. Not only do they meet three ghosts who are more like poltergeists because they're always trying to get all these people out. You get a bunch of different cameos, which we'll talk about in a minute, for some people. But these are like three poltergeists, and they're trying to get all these. They're trying to get these people away because they don't want to leave this home. But then he runs into Casper, which is a friendly ghost, hence the name Casper the Friendly Ghost, which is actually based off a comic series / cartoon from like the 60s, I believe. The woman calls Bill Pullman and his daughter, who is played by Christina Ricci. They call him from New Mexico, and they come up to Maine, and they live into this mansion. Which, by the way, I will say, Universal definitely had a big studio production because the set design in this movie is kind of crazy. The mansion, the little things that they do, at the end, where they're, they go through the little tunnel with all the different devices and the shaving machine, everything. Like, the whole set design is actually pretty crazy in this movie. It's very, very well done. But you get the father and daughter, Christina Ricci, who's like playing this teenage girl, and she comes with her father, but she's very, she's kind of upset because they've had to move so much. She says in the movie they moved 9 different schools, and so she's just tired of moving. So they say, if this place doesn't have anything, then he's done. He's over with. But as luck would have it, not only do you get one ghost, but you get 3 or 4 ghosts, technically. You get 4 ghosts. 5 ghosts. We'll talk about that later. And it sets up, I think, early on in the movie that, even though he's very, very involved with his work and he's trying to, do his job and everything, he's still not trying to put his job over his family. And, he has a lot of love for his daughter. And so he's basically saying, like I said, he said, it's like in those movies, it's like in the movies where they say, I do it one last time and then I'm retired, and they go one last time and, they come out of retirement. This is basically that. He's like, do it one last time and then I'm done. And the main reason he's trying to do it is actually so he can try to contact with his wife who passed away. They say in the movie, she passed away. And then like I said, that's how we get involved in this whole ghost whispering kind of thing. When we finally see the ghost, we see Casper. She's the first ghost we see is Casper. And I will say, the cartoon, like, you look at the cartoons in the old comics and stuff like that, and he's very cartoony. He's a white, solid white ghost, friendly, childlike ghost. And so to kind of put that in the live action is very interesting. I think they kind of did it in the right way. They didn't make him solid white. They made him kind of translucent. And with some of the stuff that they do in the movie, like when he's holding stuff, it's actually really well done. Of course, you get that early 90s CG, especially there's a scene where they're at breakfast and they're eating, the 3 bad ghosts are eating food, and it's, he's holding plates, and it's clearly CG when it's on the table and the plate, and then when it falls to the floor, it's, real food. Christina Ricci is actually the first person to see the ghost when they move into the house. She's going through all of her stuff, trying to unpack everything, and she throws a sock into Casper's mouth. He spits it back out her, and she turns around and she freaks out, and Bill Pullman comes running in, and he goes to her room. He's like very, loving and attentive. He's like, "Okay, honey, open the door. He's not in there. Look under the bed. Oh, he's not in there." And then he opens the closet, and he's like, "Well, let's see, he's not in there." And then they freak out, and he ends up meeting the other ghost, and he has a whole fight scene with that where the ghosts are picking up umbrellas and stuff like that, and he sucks them into the vacuum, and it's a whole fun little scene early on in the movie. And in that scene, you see Bill Pullman. Him and his daughter go in try to hide in the closet, and he's like, I'm sorry I doubted you, Dad, basically. And they kind of embrace and everything, and it shows that basically she's not trying to be like deny the whole thing even after she saw it, kind of situation. So so they have another embrace with that, and understanding and everything, and I think they have a pretty good dynamic as father and daughter in this movie. I forgot to mention that Casper is voiced by Devon Sawa, who was most recently, I think, in the movie that I reviewed was Hard Eyes. He's in the Hard Eyes, and he was famous for Final Destination, Idle Hands, and a bunch of other horror movies, I'm sure. I actually looked it up, and Devon Sawa is actually 17 in this movie. He was 17 years old when he did this movie. Christina Ricci was 13 years old when she did this movie. And at the end of the movie, something happens where I'm just like, after I looked it up, I was like, I don't know. Must have been produced by the Weinsteins. And before they meet all this before the lady who is trying to get this money in this house, Kerrigan, she has a bunch of other people come in before Bill Pullman. A lot of different cameos you got in the early scenes. You have Ben Stein. He plays the attorney. Basically, is going through the will and everything of her deceased relative, and then you get a cameo from Dan Aykroyd, who's in his Ghostbusters uniform. You get cameos from Rodney Dangerfield, Clint Eastwood, and you also get one from The Crypt Keeper. Those are some cameos. We're all back to back to back, and Mel Gibson. I forgot to say Mel Gibson. He's going through. Bill Pullman. He's gets the three ghosts go into his body, and he goes in the mirror, washes his face, and he turns into Clint Eastwood, and then Rodney Dangerfield, and Mel Gibson, and then the Crypt Keeper. So that was kind of funny seeing them. It's like they showed up for 3 seconds of filmmaking, but it's pretty funny in the scene. At the end of the movie, you get the Harrigan. Anyway, she finds out what the treasure is, and she's trying to kill her assistant, and she ends up dying. She drives off. She gets stuck on a cliff, and then she tries to open her door, and she falls out and dies. And then she comes back to the house and tries to steal the treasure they were looking for, or the money they thought they were going to get. And the things don't end well for her. She tries to go off and say, I got all this and everything. And they at the beginning of the movie, they say the reason why ghosts are ghosts is because they have unfinished business. And she says she has unfinished business, or she doesn't have any unfinished business because she got everything she needs, and then she ends up being assimilated. Where she goes, I don't know, but she gets she ends up turning into dust because she has everything she needs. She doesn't need to be a ghost anymore. So happy ending there. When the three bad ghosts are out they go to a local bar, and they take Bill Pullman's character, and Bill Pullman gets pretty drunk, and he's talking about, it's like, oh, I love you guys, drunkenly, basically liking him and everything. He's like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go party, and he opens the door, and there's they're doing construction. He falls into the construction zone, and he ends up dying. And so at the end of this movie, after they take care of the Kerrigan character, he comes in as a ghost, and so Casper, the last little bit of this juice, or whatever you want to call it, liquid, he needs to become human again. He has to give it to Bill Pullman's character. and they give it to him, and they turn on the machine and everything, and he becomes human again. After that incident, Bill Pullman's character, or Casper's character, he gets kind of sad because he can't become human anymore. And then the ghost of Bill Pullman's wife visits him and basically gives him like an hour of becoming human, and becomes a young Devon Sawa. Now, when I said at the beginning of the video, I said Devon Sawa was 17 and Christina Ricci was 13. At the end of the movie, they have a dance, and Devon Sawa kisses Christina Ricci, and I was like, there's a 4-year age difference, but there's still, she's still like way younger than him, and so it's kind of weird, but it's like a nice ending, I guess. She gets to see what he used to look like before he died. But it's a nice movie altogether. Just aside for some minor stuff, like I said, the outdated effects. The effects are kind of outdated, although they still look fairly good by today's standards. Considering it's we're so many years removed from this movie, we still got movies that are brand new with effects that look worse than what effects did back in the day. So, despite, I guess the effects kind of look cartoony, but reality, some of them still hold up. Like I said, set design and everything is amazing. The acting's pretty good. It's it's a kids movie, so it's fun for the whole family. And there is some language in there, so beware of that and everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It was nice coming back to it. But what did you guys think? Did you like this movie? Did you used to watch it growing up? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.